All right, welcome back from that short break. We continue from exactly where we stopped. So I remembered we're talking about settings from different levels. Please, if you have your mic unmuted and your background is unstable, please would prefer you muting your background or muting yourself. So we talked about these levels, and then we're going to talk about the 100 zones. All right, now you see this zone we mentioned before now. I believe when we're setting up this, it's on broke here, and it went there to retest, and it acted exactly as a resistance. This time, it acted as a support here. I think this is now becoming. I should explain better to you what I mean. What I'm trying to explain. A zone becoming both support and a resistant level. We saw price broke here and then we went back here. In fact, there was a weak recorded here. That means price retested the zone, but it couldn't break above it because it's now acting as a resistance to it. So it dropped below it. And remember, all you need to make profit in here is just a 5-minute trade idea that went in your direction. So let's proceed from area we should, that is from the 100 zone. So we have, excuse me guys. So sorry about that break, or that pause in there. So the 100 zones now. We're talking about the 100 zones. That is I don't like this background. Like there's a background chewing up. Let me mute you. That is Julius. Julius, please, you would like to mute yourself. Simita, you mute yourself. Yeah, please mute yourself. Thank you for that. All right. So so a 100 zone is just mapping out areas in the market that has frequency from 100. Remember what we did from the 1,000? We identified the 1,000 zones, the thousands. We identified the half thousand zones. We identified the quarter 1,000 zones. So we're also going to do that in this 100 zones. Okay, we carefully identify the 100 zones, right? But we're going to do that only at zones or only at levels where price is. So basically, there is another 1,000 pips above here. You see that here? 102.000 is 1,000 pips. So I'm going to recognize that 1,000 pips. So I'm making it a ticker line and I'm making it green. There is so much harmony and respect according to levels and according to zones they are. There is hierarchy in this world and there is hierarchy in heaven. So there's hierarchy in trading also. So respect them. They won't work against you. So we have those unrespected already. So we quietly recognize zones around the 100 zones or area. 900 is 100 area. You get that? So we're making that. Of course, we make that. I always like making that blue. I'll make that blue. So, and I reduce the is weak or is horizontal thickness. So I'm going to make every 100 zone around my chart that's around where price is. I'm going to make them blue. I'm going to make them blue, and I'm going to recognize them, every bit of it. So since we have 600 here, we have a 600 there, so it is at 601. How your day? So we have the zone at 1700 recognized. So this is the area price is at the moment. If price goes beyond, all right, thank you for that. So price is around the zone. That is, I am more concerned for this 100 levels. I am more concerned at where price is at the moment. Where is price? So areas around where price is close is where I'm concerned in mapping my levels. You can see how this the 700 zone held price at this point, held price at this point, held price at this point, and you see the zones. They are reliable support and resistance zones. When price breaks below it, it acts as resistance. When price breaks above it and comes back there, it acts as support. So this is for the 100 level zones. But then there's what we call killer zones, or I personally call them demand zones or supply levels. I personally call those zones demand zones and supply levels. They are not in the category of the 100. They're not in the category of half of 100. Remember that the half of 100, if we're going to continue breaking this chart below it, we'll get 50, we'll have 25, right? Okay, but we're not going to keep breaking this chart down. Otherwise, we'll have a rough chart just like this chart. Have a rough chart just like this. But whichever way you're doing it, you will definitely end up having a rough chart, just like this. You definitely end up having a rough chart. It will come from this demand levels. But the reason this demand levels are essential is because it is an intentional lines. You put them there intentionally. They're intentional one, and they are performing at the moment where you place those zones. What I mean by performing, they have recognized and established a zone that is reliable. You could recognize those levels too. And price has every potential, every probability of retesting and respecting those levels. Now, you see this level here. You see this level here. They're not on the 1,000. They're not on the 100. Even on the 100 category, they're not. Now this is 835, and 835 is not a half of 100. Neither is it a quarter of 100. But they are there and they're functioning. So let me button this chart. So walk through that zones, and then I have here at. Okay, I'll just put it here. Is at 842. Of course, the law of respect comes to. I will still reduce this to my lowest. So we have there at 842. 842 is not 850. All right. So these levels are intentional levels, and they are called demand and supply zones. Excuse me, or killer zones. All right. This other level here. See here. They're also it. They also so the ability for you to spot these zones gives you pure knowledge also ahead beyond just support and resistance. Beyond just support and resistance. Now there is what I'm going to introduce to you guys on how to spotting these levels. These levels can be spotted from once there's a big push, a big reversals. What enables you to spot these levels are majorly reversal patterns. We talked about reversal pattern in the last section. Right? What could reverse a trend? We talked about double top, double bottom, head and shoulder reversal patterns, triple top, triple bottom. That's for reversals, right? We also talked about what's the other one we talked about? Okay, I think is here. All right, we talked about the falling wage, right, and the rising wage. Okay, so those are things that can curate these levels. They are able to curate in these levels. Now, look at this. Look at this setup here. I can spot a very I can spot that is a double top. Yes, a double top here, 1, 2, and then he said or a head and shoulder, or reversal head and shoulder for reversal patterns. So this zone there is automatically going to be a killer zone for me. I map it. This zone here is also a killer zone for me. I map it. I can also find other killer zones that are around my price reaction sections. Here is a killer zone for me. I'm also spotting more killer zones here. You see, then at the end of doing all of these technical analysis and all of this, then you find out that your chart cannot remain the same. Your chart should be able to confuse and, in fact, confuse the next trader who doesn't understand these techniques so well enough. If your chart is not confusing him or her so well enough, you've not done so well in analyzing your chart. So please give me 1 minute. All right, sorry about that. Okay, now basically I respect zones where price probably price fluctuated and got to those areas, and when price got there, and let me put it this way: areas where price is touching the first. What I mean is this: remember this price here we had a horrible uptrend up to the moon, and at this level there was no price reaction going backward here. There was no price reaction. Like, price has not retested any of these levels before now. So for price coming there and having a switch, that is a zone I could point out. I could say, okay, this zone is reliable for me now, because price reacted at the first time. One technique I want you to understand about trading is, whatever that happens, or should I, how do I put this? Whatever that happens, the first, whatever it is its first attempt on a zone or a level is so unique that price, when it comes back to that same levels, price has higher probability of reacting again to it. When we talk probabilities, we're not telling you for surety. We're saying that price could, that means it cannot. So when the odds are higher is when you can pick it up as a strategy, or you can pick it up as an entry. The odd is higher. We're not telling you it is perfect. There could be a switch. There are a lot of things that could cause a chaos in the financial market. All right. So, but once the odd is higher, it is reliable enough. It's reliable enough to risk in it. All right. So here we'll have that. So any zones the price is retesting at its first hit and then reverses is a reliable killer zone for me, or demand and supply. I'll just map that its own area out and keep that in mind. Now, the reason why you mark it out is so you're reminded when price comes around. Also, if you don't mark this out, you might forget, because there's a lot of confusion in the financial market or chaos. It might not seem that way, but your mind has to be addressed. Okay, trading, this whole thing about trading is so stable, it's so consistent, that once you have identified it, it has identified itself also with you. Is that reliable? But then it's not about the system. it has to boil down to who you are. You have to align yourself with financial market. You have to build this relationship with your chart, with whatever that is happening in the financial market, in the chart. That is where mastery emerges from. Okay, you could know all of these things. You could know all of these things. You could know support and resistance, trend, demand and supply levels, killer zones, price actions. We talked about charts, reversal patterns, candlesticks. Okay, you could know all of these things, and yet you're not able to spot in them early enough. And then all you do is, oh, look at that zone. I knew it, but then it's gone, and it's gone with your money. I knew it. It's gone with your money. But those are experiences that you should be comfortable with having. All right, you should be comfortable with having those experiences because they boil down to building an experienced trader you would become, and of course you're going to become in a short while. So that is all for support and resistance based on transaction theory or transaction concept or transaction method. I believe it is quite understandable and it's quite clear enough. All you need to do is go over this video again, go over them again, try to replicate it on your chart, try to follow up on your chart. The only way to master a thing, I keep saying, is by revisiting it, doing it over and over and over and over again, thousands of times. I wouldn't tell you how many times I've traded this chart, and I traded them at my window over thousands of times, over thousands. I can't even count. So the best way to learn, the best way to master is watch, replicate, go over it again, watch, replicate, go over it again, watch, replicate, and then you succeed building a pattern in your brain that it will always recognize when it sees such. So that is it for this section. We are done for this particular concept. And our next concept, I think we'll be going into something more different and something more unique. Every concept is unique anyways, but each that we've introduced becomes less unique because you've known them and it becomes unique to you, and then not unique to the badge. The next section we'll be looking at another concept which I will talk about on the next section, guys. So that is it for now. Do have a wonderful day ahead and take care. Bye.